Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of MovieKombat. We are here live on twitch.tv/Primal_target. If you're not watching live, you're probably watching on YouTube because that's the other place to watch this. And after, I think 2 weeks, this gets deleted. So you probably are watching over there if you're watching sometime in the future. This season, we have watched many of Disney animation movies pertaining to the Disney Princess line. We've watched Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Mulan, Princess the Frog, Tangled, and Brave is our newest addition to all that. It's like the trees in the bog and the bog's down in the valley. It's like that thing, and it just keeps growing. And we got 2 more movies, I think, to go out of this. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, this is episode 11 of MovieKombat, and we got 2 more to go after this, so that will be later to talk about. All right, this is the 2012 movie Brave, and I will tell you, this is one of those movies that is just, it needed to be, exactly. This is one of those movies that kind of just showed up what Disney just did in the last episode that we watched. I am not dissing Tangled. I think the animation in that movie is fine. I like it. And obviously I've rated it very high. I didn't rate it the best one, which I rated it a 9.4, which is just 1 point below Mulan, which is the highest one right now. But Brave showed us what Pixar 3D animation really should look like. Not to say that Disney's first attempt at a Disney princess movie, or actually I think they said first Disney 3D animated movie, which was Tangled, and fully 3D animated movie. But Brave is Pixar just being Pixar. And the thing is it is so beyond where Tangled was, which was, I think, did Tangled come out like a year before this? You would not think that these movies are like separate. Oh, 2 years. Okay, so maybe a little bit, but like from the cinematic shots that like pull in through the Scottish like skyline, and it's just, wait, hold on. Did I say they are Scottish, right? Now I gotta know if I'm gonna cut this part out. Because now I'm just gonna is Merida Scottish? Yes, she is. Okay, all right. I almost got canceled there. I was like, I just assumed, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure she is. So anyway, yeah. When you look at a lot of these cinematic shots, you almost kind of forget that you're watching a 3D animated movie, even in a 2012 movie. Remember, this movie now is over 10 years old. That's what's crazy about this movie. And if you watch it, it does not look like that. It still holds up. I feel it pushes the envelope for what the movie, like, I don't know, what that animation software could do and what that rendering did is amazing. I mean, obviously, I told you that one thing to pay attention to in this movie was Merida's hair, because we had Tangled, though it did involve hair, it was still kind of like a solid piece with like a few strands off of it. And so this is one of those movies where it's like Disney wanted to go into one thing they wanted to work on and focus on that and make it look great. Merida was her hair, and they talk about that actually in the behind the scenes if you actually own this on Blu-ray or anything. And yeah, there's a lot of focus on Merida's hair, and a lot of focus on a lot of the, like, the boy's hair, her brothers and stuff like that. It's like it's a bit harder to my age. Thanks for a reminder. Yeah, I mean that's how you make yourself feel older. Is you start looking back of when movies came out, and then you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like potato getting cut like a French fry. That's fresh out the garden. Okay, jeez. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things where Pixar was, I don't know, they were still cooking a lot. They were doing pretty good with innovating on the next thing that they wanted to do. They wanted to do the next, what are they going to focus on? And I mean, even when you go back and look at Pixar's a very hairy animation was Monsters Inc. Sully. If you look at Sully's hair before in the 2001 Monsters Inc. and then you look at Brave comes along and then you watch Monsters University. There's something different because they worked on it, they changed it, and obviously they've worked on it before then because there's a pretty big gap between Monsters University and Brave, but that is a big focus on this movie. So I see how Merida's hair is the focus, but honestly, I paid more attention to the family dynamic than her looking for her prince in a way more way off brand for Disney princesses. That is very true. That is very true. The thing with this movie is it definitely does focus on something different. And we were talking about this before I hit record on this episode with Emaru and with High C, a.k.a. Fresh, formerly known as Fresh. And we were talking about how, is there a villain in this movie? Because as you guys know, I keep track of 4 things when I'm doing these reviews. How many songs there are, when we see our princess for the first time, is there a villain, and when the first song happened. I thought there was singing from the guys, like from the clans and stuff, but I don't think that actually happened. I thought I heard it, but I may have, like, I had to go back and, like, because I was doing something, I had to skim back and I couldn't find where that was. So if that did happen, it happened a little bit before when I actually clocked in a song, which is the one and only song in this movie sung by a character. Not to say that this movie does not have a fantastic soundtrack. There are plenty of songs in this movie that are very adventure, like the flow of music is going and things are happening and we're doing something. The beginning song when Merida is like running through riding her horse through the forest, and that song, that whole thing, Disney actually uses that in a lot of their shows, like World of Color, at California Adventure. They also, I think, use it at Epcot for whatever show that they do over there that's not very good. But the thing with how Brave pushes itself to being different is because of its animation studio. Disney Animation did not make this movie. It was Pixar. And this is the only Pixar princess movie. So they were able to kind of do a little bit of something and a little bit of things that Disney Animation probably wouldn't have gotten away with. For example, butts. That is a very big thing that probably would not have been in a Disney Animation. That did eventually happen in future Disney Animation movies. You do see, I think, Moana is, and also I think that happens in another movie that Disney Animation does. But yeah, Pixar, this was like a very big, like, I remember when that happened, and every time I'd watch that with like somebody else, it shocked them. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, wait a minute!" Like, can't do, like, it's just the guys when they were climbing down using their kilts, and then they walked out, and you're like, just these grown men asses in your face. You're like, So yeah. So anyway, something a little different with how they made this movie, and yeah. So there's one song sung, and it's sung at 51 minutes and 52 seconds. It is very short, but it is it's sung by a character. It's sung by the Queen, which is Eleanor, played by Emma Thompson. I don't know if you caught that. Emma Thompson is a very, very famous actress, so you You'd know her more in rom-coms. I hate to admit, but yeah. Posture check. She also played. Let's see. Trying to just find something that maybe most people would know, but you've seen her in stuff. She's just been all over the place. But yeah, mostly rom-coms is kind of where she's been. Though she yeah, wait a minute, didn't she do the she did the remake of Matilda. That was something too. I feel like it was a pivotal point for Disney princesses. Oh, for this type of thing. And yeah, and the thing is I would look at, I mean, you know, the movies that I like the most are currently right now, I mean, I rated Mulan as number 1 right now. And Pocahontas I rated pretty high. Tangled I rated pretty high. And I think mainly the reason why I rate those really high is because when I watched them as a kid, it wasn't, I mean, I get the whole, yes, it is lightly gender focused, but the movie's not about her being that. It's like she does that. That's a thing. That's a subplot of what's happening. It pushes the plot forward to what the main plot is between the relationship between Merida and Eleanor. So a mother-daughter relationship and how they connect to each other emotionally again, because Merida has gone all her life essentially thinking her mom is lightly disappointed in her, doesn't do all the ladylike things, doesn't do the things that are prim and proper, and therefore Eleanor her mom probably doesn't like her that much because she does all this stuff. But because of that, it builds up, and then it explodes, and then boom, you have this relationship that fractures due to it building up for so long, them not communicating properly to each other on both ends, and then Merida goes off and tries to find like a way of like, oh, maybe I can put a spell on her and maybe she will leave me alone, kind of thing. I like how both parents are involved in this movie. That is true too. That's every single, and that's the other thing with the last one of the things that I gave flowers to all these movies that I review pretty high is the fact that they give everybody enough screen time for me to care about every single person that's important. And every single person that's important is everyone in this movie, except for obviously the background people. But even like the clans, like when those guys showed up, those guys have pretty famous voice actors, actually. And like Craig Ferguson plays Lord Macintosh. I don't know if you caught that part. But yeah, it's there's even those guys, you have a reason to have them there. They're not just background sound. They are going to interact with our main characters because they travel all this way. Why are they here? You have all these subplots that are happening and goals that all of these characters have. Maybe they're little, they're just kind of pushing the plot forward, the main one being the mother-daughter relationship. But the rest of it is mainly like it's all these little tiny things, and it's done so perfectly because you can tell the story, tell a little bit here. I don't need these guys on my screen the entire movie. I want Merida back on my screen because she's the main character. That's who we have. But I need these background people to push her into the next thing, and they do it really, really well. I don't know who wrote this. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hagrid's in this movie. He plays Lord Dingwall. I think that's the guy with the funny mustache. Robbie Cole. I'm going to butcher that name. But yeah, Hagrid from Harry Potter. I hate that you don't even know that either because you've never seen the Harry Potter movies. Okay. Um, not a fan of the traditional roles, but it is nice to have them both there. Yeah, and have them both alive, both of them carrying the plot. Now, I will say Emma Thompson obviously eventually doesn't have any lines, and then will have lines at the very end of the movie, so that's whatever. But the rest of them all have, the characters are pushing it forward. So yeah, I mean, I like that. We don't have a Prince Charming in this movie. We don't have a prince that is in this movie. We have three princes, but they're not princes that we have any affiliation to, because all they were there for was to show up, do the whole games thing, and then Merida fights for her own hand in marriage. She then she one-ups the guys, and then that furthers more plot. And then we take those guys, we don't throw them away and send them on their way. We keep them in the back burner, we put them in a bag, and then we'll bring them back in a little bit. It's just really good storytelling. This movie just does really, really well. Merida was robbed. And I just have to, I like the voice acting in this. I like the cinematography in the 3D world that we are in. The rain effects look fantastic. There are so many beautiful scenery shots that are in this movie that honestly, I'm looking at just the screenshots here. I'll even do this. There's screenshots of this are just really nice. Her hair looks like it's painted. You have this background that's blurred in bokeh effect. You have the main focus, the arrow, her eyes there. The lighting is great. You have this bright red hair just taking you away, focused on what she's about to do. There's just so many things that this movie does very, very well. And I don't know, to me, I kind of see this being, I don't know, has potential of doing something very, very good. So anyway, let's jump into the IMDb corner and let's take a look at some of the cool stuff that happened to be about this. All right, let's take a look at the taglines. These are the things that are trying to sell the movie, and there's only one tagline. They were put on the poster to do this, and the only tagline is "Change your fate," which I think does get brought up quite a few times in the movie, and it is it's very good. It's very good. I would say that that's a very good tagline for the movie. Let's look at some trivia and talk about some fun facts about the movie. Number one, Kevin McKidd was particularly happy to work on this project because it was the first time in years that he'd been able to use his natural Scottish accent in a movie. Kevin McKidd played, let me see. He played Lord MacGuffin. And you would know Kevin McKidd from... man. Not so great. Oh, Star Wars Rebels. He played... Oh my god, it's Soap. It's Soap from Call of Duty. He plays Soap. That's him. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, the chat's being flooded. Yeah, so let's jump back into the rest of this. So, continuing on, let's go with trivia. I'm gonna let chat's kind of talking to themselves, and that's okay. That's what they're there for. I won't put the chat over there for nothing. So you guys keep talking. I'm okay with that. Keep going here. Next one is 2 additional software programs were especially developed for this movie by Pixar in a span of 3 years. One of them allowed simulation of Merida's 1,500 strands of hair curls to move together with her movements. That is so many different animations. Just think about that. That means you had to have that strand of hair, one strand out of 1,500 of them, one strand of hair, have a flow of movement. So you'd have to put dots on it to make movement. And then you have to make it look natural. And then you got to repeat all that for all the other strands of hair. And then you have to make it look like it flows well. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. RAP soap, yeah. And the next one is the misunderstood dialect from young MacGuffin, which is played by Kevin McKidd, young MacGuffin is called Doric. It is spoken in northeastern Scotland, including Kevin McKidd's hometown of, I'm not saying that because I'm not going to butcher it, but it's Elgin. That is the name of it. The first Pixar animated studios movie set entirely in the historic past. That's right, because all the other stuff is all kind of like WALL-E is a futuristic whatever. Monsters Inc. is, an alternate reality where monsters are around. Cars are driving around. This is actually in a time period that existed in our world. Brave existed in that, so it's different. So it's kind of cool. There was a scene. Oh wait, no, there was a scene storyboarded where Merida was actually interested in young MacGuffin, but the scene was scrapped because they wanted to focus on the love between the mother and daughter. Smart move. If they do Brave 2, Drew McIntyre's in it. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they got rid of that whole possible love interest, because that would have definitely ruined the movie. Merida is the first Disney princess to not have a love interest. So there you go. It's right there. The reference to a long lost kingdom from days past where there was a king and he had 4 sons is a reference to the early French ruler Clovis, who had 4 sons and upon his death split the region and Gaul, modern day France, into 4 parts, one for each son to rule. That's crazy. That's a real thing that happened. There was a ruler that took France and split it into 4 sections and then gave it to his 4 sons. What? Okay. Studio trademark at around... Whoa. Lost my audio there for a second. Studio trademark at around 32 minutes. The Pizza Planet truck, a fixture of nearly every full-length Pixar movie. Whoa, okay. Studio trademark. Boop. At around 32 minutes, the Pizza Planet truck, a fixture of nearly every full-length Pixar movie, can be spotted in the witch's hut, even though there were no cars at the time this movie takes place, obviously. I want to Brave too, yeah. I was bored at work. That's a Drew McIntyre reference. It was MacGuffin. That was the possible love interest. This is the first Pixar animated studios movie to feature a female protagonist. Princess Merida is also the only Pixar character to be included in the official Disney princess line. Are we not counting Incredibles? Do we not count Incredibles as protagonists? Because Elastigirl and Violet are... I'm definitely very confused on that fact. I guess we're not counting them because that movie came out way before this movie did. All right, and last one. Merida is the first Disney princess to not be based on a pre-existing literary character or historical figure. It was based off of just a original IP. That was how it goes. Oh, and here's another one. The original title was The Bear and the Bow. I'm glad we went with Brave. Brave is a little right there, solid, good thing. Okay. Let's jump into some other factoids about the movie. There's plenty of more facts as well, so if you want to check out more facts, you can head over to IMDb. Movie release date was June 22nd, 2012 in the United States, and it was $185 million to make it. Holy God, that's so much money. I don't think it's as much as Tangled was, but this was, yeah, because I think Tangled was like $208 million or whatever. So this was cheaper. They saved money. And they made two software programs at Pixar. I don't know if at Pixar, but they made two software programs to make this movie. That was also in this budget, so I don't know how they were able to do that. But yeah, gross U.S. and Canada, $237 million. $237.3 million. Opening weekend, U.S. and box office was $66.3 million in the opening weekend on June 24th. That was the last day of that weekend. And then gross worldwide was $538 I'm going to round it up. $539 million worldwide. I would definitely say Brave was a fantastic success. With a budget of $185 million, they made $539 million worldwide. So Brave skyrocketed to the top there. To making their money back. Runtime is an hour and 33 minutes, and does have 7.1 surround sound. So if you do have that, you can. It was mixed with 7.1 surround sound in mine. Most movies are not. So it has Dolby Atmos, but I think that's because of the Disney Plus update. So that might be the reason why that's there. So that is going to be it for the fun stuff from IMDb about the 2012 movie Brave. So let's talk about the review, shall we? We have quite a few people in here, so let's talk about what you guys are going to give it. Now, before you guys give it a rating, we have a review scale that we always do it on these movies, and that is this one. So if you guys take a look at it, take a gander, and we are going to go over what we have gave so far. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're just watching, exactly. If you're just watching the YouTube version of this and you decided to watch Brave and not the other ones, well, that's interesting choice because this is the 11th episode, but that's fine. We are going to go over who we have already seen so far. Snow White, 7. I rated it a 7. PT Nation, you guys rated it an 8.3. Cinderella was an 8.1, 8.6 from you guys. 8 for Sleeping Beauty, 8.5. 8 for The Little Mermaid, 8.2. Beauty and the Beast is a 9, 9.3. Aladdin was a 9.3. You guys rated it a 9.3. Pocahontas is a 9.4. You guys rated it 9.8. Mulan, 9.5, 9.1. Princess and the Frog, 8.9, 8.1. Tangled, 9.4, and a 9. So, with that said, it is time to get all of the reviews. So if you have reviewed it before I put that in there, put your reviews in there now. I only have Katie's and I only have Alana's. So go ahead and give it your score, PT Nation. What do you guys think Brave deserves out of 10? The thing is, to me, I look at this movie and I love the music. I love the scenery. I love the story of it. There's many things that this movie does that just puts it kind of above a lot of others. And with that, I have to say, I got to go down the list like I normally do. Snow White, is it better than a 7? Absolutely. Is it better than an 8.1 where I put Cinderella at? Absolutely. That knocks out Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid. But then we go to Beauty and the Beast, which is a 9 I gave it. I think it's better than a 9, which is on our scale I think a must-have. So you definitely have it in your collection. I think when you look at Pocahontas, which is 9.4, I think it's better than Pocahontas. Because here's the thing about these movies is when it comes to Disney princess movies, the princess movies kind of always have that stigma of like, is it just going to be for the gals? That's always where the Disney princesses are going to hit, because that's the audience. That's the target audience where they're kind of going for. There was a stint in the 90s and kind of in the early 2000s where Disney was just making movies to make movies, which was fantastic. And then they kind of slowed down on that. Then they started making like specifics, and that's where it didn't make it any fun anymore. And I would say that we're back to that again, and that's what sucks. But with this movie, even though it involves a mom and a daughter, there's still added comedic factors from the guys that will involve, if a young kid wanted to watch this, a young boy wanted to watch this, he could still relate to it and laugh at it and have fun. It's fun for everyone, is what I'm trying to say. The movie is fun for every single person. And the story, you can put yourself in any situation. You can have it as a mother-father, or not a mother-father, a mother-daughter. You can do a dad and son. You can have son and mom, and you can have daughter-father. Everyone has had a situation where they have had a super big breakdown with a parent, where they've just absolutely been like, you don't understand me. I'm trying to be my own self. I'm done. You move on. And they do it so well where in the original, like when you're watching this as a kid, you're not thinking mend the bond is, you think where Merida's thinking, oh yeah, she cut the thing. Maybe she has to fix it because when Mardu had his situation, his was also broken. Maybe if it would have been fixed, he would have not been a bear. So she goes and tries to fix it, does the whole thing. Turns out that's not what they needed to do. The whole thing was, you need to mend the bond between the relationship with your mom. And where she finds that is, unfortunately, the relationship has kind of gone. She thinks that she's lost her mom, and at this point it's done. And she's finally realized, oh, I have messed up so much, and I have lost the thing that I took for granted. And it's kind of that thing of like, you can even go beyond it and say when your parents aren't there anymore. Like, fortunately, I think a lot of us still have our moms and dads. And I think that this is kind of that moment of like, if you've done that last thing to sever that relationship, and that's your last memory with that person, is that what you want your last memory to be, like at the end of the day? Now, to be fair, there are people that rightfully deserve to be, severed out of people's lives. I totally get that. But I'm saying when the situation would be in the situation. So, to me, I think the movie is very good. I think it is a masterpiece? Do I think it deserves a 10? I think I'm going to give it a 10. I think I'm going to give Brave a 10. I don't hand it out very often, but I think I like this movie so much. And I think the story is just really good. I think Pixar nailed it. Like, even now watching it as the, more than 10 years later, this movie is over 10 years old. That movie still holds up. And it's an 3D animated movie. And it still holds up. So, to me, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. All right, let's see what people have given it. The PT Nation. I'm going to scroll up here and read what we got. All right, calculator. Hello, calculator. Maybe. 9.9. Okay, from Katie. 9.5 from Alana. I know Brave had some criticism because the trailer, because a lot of people thought it would be more adventurous. And then about a mom and a daughter. It's a Disney movie, and they should always assume that it is going to be a lesson in there. But I get it. I totally get that. Caleb says 9.5. Okay, so plus 9.5. Emaru is a 9.5. Okay. Oh, Katie, are you changing it to a 10? Okay, put yours at a 10. Okay. Okay, minus 9.9 plus 10. Okay. And then Emaru, are you changing yours? What was yours? Originally you had a 9.5. Are you changing that to a 10? I just got to confirm. Or are you keeping it at the 9.5? Okay. Minus 9.5 plus 10. Okay. And then we are going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I got your score. Okay, now like these are all over the place. So, I got Katie, I got Alana, I got Caleb, I got Emaru. Yeah, I got 4. I only got 4 scores. So what was your score for 9.4. Okay. Okay, and then divided by 5. That is a 9.7. 9.7 from the PT Nation. All right. There you go. Brave has now officially gotten its review, and we will next week, we will be watching Moana. So that is where we are going to head to next. That is our second to last episode, and we'll be doing that on Sunday. So Sunday for the Twitch people. And if you guys are watching on YouTube and you want to be a part of the review, make sure that for the next season, you head over to our Twitch channel and you participate in these. I do them the first hour of the stream, and we record it, and then I will edit it, and then it'll get all posted after it's all said and done. So, yeah, we are 2 more movies left, Moana and Raya and the Last Dragon. We're going to watch Moana for Sunday, and then we'll come back sometime next week and also watch the last episode, episode 13, which will be Raya and the Last Dragon. So, Moana is the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you for all watching, whether you're watching here live on Twitch or whether you're watching on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!